Looks like things are gonna get mighty tough for console makers. In this 7th episode of Gaming Wars, a series that looks at the past, present, and future of gaming, we're gonna take a look at how the 8th generation of consoles will look radically different from anything we've ever seen before. Eventually, we're gonna look at what Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony offer in the console market, as well as competition coming from mobile, computer, and platform gaming. Use the links below to watch a different episode or search for Gaming Wars on YouTube, but the best experience comes from clicking these pop-ups from a computer. And don't forget to subscribe with email notifications and follow on Twitter for updates. Let's get started. The console market was surprisingly slowing down during the previous 7th generation era that we covered in Gaming Wars episode 6. For core gamers, the PC platform and digital distribution through companies like Valve using Steam are making up for the lack of innovation in home consoles and third-party game development. So if console makers continue to struggle like they have in the past, how can PC gaming become more versatile, more mainstream, and challenge console gaming? Valve took a big step last month by enabling Steam's Big Picture feature.
Steam. All the games you love. 50 million of your closest friends. Trading, workshop, summer sales. What could be better? But sometimes you just want to kick it in the living room. There are lots of ways to play games in there. But when you go in there, why should you have to make all new friends? Leave the internet behind? And worst of all, give up all your favorite games? Well, no more. Now, you can bring Steam with you. Welcome to Big Picture, where Steam comes to your TV. And with it, your library of all your favorite games, all your Steam friends, all the stuff they make, and the best deals on the best new games from the store you're used to, where you can get all the latest titles.
But it still requires physically connecting your computer to the television. When it comes to PC gaming, performance varies widely. It hinges largely on the graphics processor, which is designed today by either Nvidia or AMD graphics technologies. And years ago, Nvidia, with Microsoft support, pushed into the mobile chip business. Some core gamers are either saving their money to see what Sony and Microsoft are cooking up in the kitchen, or they're trying out PC gaming.
So what's Nvidia gonna do to survive?
This.
Was that a controller with a screen? Is Nvidia making a console?
Kind of. Now Nvidia is converging its expertise in mobile and PC gaming to enter the integrated consumer hardware business through this device. But putting the pieces together took a while. The Tegra Zone launched almost 2 years ago. It's a free Android app that highlights games that take advantage of the power of the Tegra chips in the Google Play Store. In PC graphics, the GeForce 600 series introduced the Kepler architecture to increase performance per watt through efficient processor design and include hardware H.264 encoding for HD streaming. The controller sends commands to the PC computes the commands and renders the graphics before streaming it back to the controller. Users can then choose to play games on the Shield console with the built-in bass reflex system, or stream it to the TV via HDMI cable or wirelessly. The user interface leverages the work that Valve has done with Big Picture to connect to Steam games and the internet. It also closely follows the premise of Nexus devices, a pure Jelly Bean Android device experience on a 5-inch 720p multi-touch display with full access to the Android ecosystem and the highest resolution of any handheld gaming device. But given the lack of controller-optimized gaming apps in Android, the biggest feature of Project Shield is that it's a wireless client for GeForce GTX PCs. But there are some practical hurdles that will limit the market share of this device. Performance will vary based on the computer's hardware. On top of the GPU requirements, your computer needs at least these specs, and you should have dual-band Wi-Fi to reduce latency issues. The TV should also have Wi-Fi, unless you don't mind using a cable from your controller to the TV. And multiplayer seems like it requires multiple Shield controllers, which probably won't be as simple and cheap as just buying another console controller. Battery life is advertised as 5 to 10 hours, and here the trade-off is really between ergonomics versus battery life. So overall, the Shield looks like an accessory to the growing gaming platforms outside of consoles. The Android gaming platform is huge, but it's mostly geared towards casual gamers on touch devices. It'll take extra resources from game developers to optimize games for console controllers. And PC gaming is attracting more core gamers during this transition phase between 7th and 8th generation consoles, but it still requires a relatively big hardware investment up front, and it requires some technical expertise to put it all together. Project Shield is evidence of the exciting potential in these areas, but the biggest challenge will be the price. Nvidia already said it won't follow the loss leader strategy that Sony and Microsoft have used in the console wars in the past, so it probably won't be cheaper than a high-end Android device. But we'll know for sure by June 2013. Every innovation takes years of planning and strategizing, and there will always be room for improvement. The 8th generation console wars are exciting because for the first time since the 5th generation console wars 20 years ago, newcomers like Valve and Nvidia will be challenging the incumbent console vendors. And with this device, Nvidia graphics cards for computers might have more value to you if you're in the market for a new GPU and you have Steam games already. Connecting to Steam is really the best feature, since many Steam games tend to be cheaper than their console equivalents. And one thing's for sure, these are exciting times for core gamers as traditional computer platforms begin moving into the living room with this device. Stay tuned as I plan to go over the Nvidia Tegra 4 that's in this device in the Chip Wars series, and talk about what Valve brings to the console table to challenge Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. And as always, thank you guys for your comments, your support, your feedback. It all really means a lot to me. And please give this video a thumbs up if you like reviews like this.